What do we do to love when everything's said and done? What do we do to love? What do we do to love? What do we do to love? What do we do to love when everything's said and done?
Because there's so many parks in San Diego, we are going to also mention all the different parks that we went to, in addition to the ones that we went to with Jen and Brad. So Belmont Park was one that we very much stumbled upon. We had found a place not too far that had a playground, and we were at the playground when we turned around and saw this giant park with roller coasters and
Ferris wheel.
Yeah, and just a big carnival.
Classic carnival.
Yeah. So we decided we didn't have anything going on, so we went over there.
Another area that was super close to us, Shelter Island. What we like to do is Leisha and Easton will run around and I'll throw a fishing pole in the water. Well, on this particular occasion, we were seeing there was a lot of movement. We put a little bait on Easton's fishing pole, and within, I don't know, a couple minutes, he had a pole, he had a fish on.
Keep reeling, Easton. There's a real fish on it. Yes. Keep going, Bob.
That's my fish I got.
That's your fish. That's your first fish.
As Leisha turns around and she's playing around with Easton, she notices something down on the lower pier flopping around.
Stuck on that fishing wire. I just noticed him flapping around and called Dave, so he's going to try to get it loose. So I called my knight in shining armor.
So I had to do a little dive over the fence and knife in hand. I didn't know if I was going to have to cut this bird.
There's people just watching him too. Like, nobody's trying to help. Nobody's trying to get involved. They're just like, what's this guy doing? He's over there saving a bird.
I couldn't tell what the line was wrapped around on him. Will bite you if they... What's wrong? So I got as close as I could get. I was just trying to grab the line and see where it was wrapped around, but I couldn't really get any closer. I just got as close as I could and I cut the line. What sucks is knowing that some fisherman didn't do his job.
One of the most beautiful places, and another place that was highly recommended, was Torrey Pines. This place was a lot like Sunset Cliffs with the view of the ocean, but it was more of like a green space around instead of the cliffs.
It was almost like a wooded area. I had known about Torrey Pines before this. I mean, they've played the U.S. Open there for golf. Anytime you look up San Diego, what they're going to recommend you go see, and
specifically the children's pool. If you pull that up on your GPS, it'll take you right there. But it is gorgeous. There's tons of places for climbing, rocks. Something that was really cool for us to see was the tide pools. The tide pools were just beautiful. It was just beautiful.
So the water comes in, it fills in these areas, and then as it washes away, it obviously is taking rocks and sand and stuff away, and it's leaving these gorgeous formations.
One of the questions people ask when you're there is, have you been to La Jolla? Have you seen the seals?
Like all animals.
We're not really dog people. Like, we like dogs, but it doesn't fit our family.
We don't have a dog. We
have this thing.
Yes, we have a cat.
We feel like we're too busy to actually take, and we would have to take the dog everywhere, and it just would be a big thing. So we decided not to be a dog family. As we were leaving La Jolla, we were walking out, and what happened?
No, Chloe. Hold on.
I went past the dog on the other side, and then it bit me.
I was looking somewhere. I was holding Easton's hand. He was swinging his other arm, and as he swung his arm, this little Chihuahua snapped at him. We couldn't tell. It seemed like it missed him. And then Easton started crying, and he was holding his hand, and he wouldn't let us see it. And when he finally let us see it, the dog had bit him. It had gotten a little piece of his...
He had teeth marks.
And
I
Leisha was beside herself. And so we turned around, and I said, there they are, Leash. And she got out of the car, and I've never seen her like this. Straight to him.
I mean, I don't really remember what I said because I was so angry. That could have gone so differently. Your dog biting my child, we could be in the hospital. Your dog reminded them that if they don't have control over their animal and it's biting at people, you cannot be in an area like this where there's a million people.
I don't even think a second later turned and out and back to their car they went. Downtown San Diego is gorgeous. It has so many areas to visit, and one of those areas is Waterfront Park. A lot like downtown Cincinnati, where it's right on the water, and they've started building up and making these little play areas. And when we were there, they were having a food truck rally, and we've been really chasing elote corn.
A little more flexibility. So one night I'm up and I hear this big boom out in the parking lot, and I know that it's the trash can lid because the trash can lid is super heavy, and the day before the trash can lid was down right next to our truck and food was pulled out of it.
And there was a raccoon with our garbage, and it ate all our garbage.
I'm guessing it's 3 or 4 in the morning, and I roll over and there's no Leisha. I look down the hall and I'm like, what is this psychopath doing? She's laying on the kitchen table.
looking out a
window, and I'm like...
And filming. I was filming.
I'm guessing there's a Murder, She Wrote episode going on. I have no idea. I come and I tapped her on the shoulder.
Scares me to death.
What in the hell? And she's like, look. And so there's a raccoon just going to town on the communal garbage can.
Good morning. It is Saturday, April the 2nd. And we're doing something pretty unique today. Dave did have an uncle that lived in San Diego, California, and he passed back in 2014. Dave's mom was like, hey, Rick's wife actually lives there still. She would love to meet you. They connected on social media. And so she is actually on her way here right now. We are going to meet her for the first time, and then we're going to go visit Rick's grave.
Hi. How are you? Hi. Oh my God. Hi. You're so handsome.
Afterward, we got to go to Sizzler.
We going to Sizzler. I had never been to Sizzler. I did not know anything about Sizzler. Dave had never been, but he knew that there was a salad bar. So we did the salad bar, and it was impressive. I was impressed with Sizzler.
On our way to Mexico.
Not really.
Really? Exit 1A from Tijuana, Mexico.
We're literally at the border of Mexico and the United States. We're in a parking lot at these outlets. And right here is the wall.
A lot of stores, a lot of shops, a lot of restaurants, and a lot of people. What'd you wish for?
I can't tell you.
Why not?
But which one can you come true?
Okay. Another evening, we went back to Sunset Cliffs because how dumb would it be for us to not go back? Sunset Cliffs was the second place that I got to spread some of Julie's ashes. So today is 9 years. 9 years that Julie's been gone. So I've come down here to Sunset Cliffs in San Diego and let some of her ashes go. And that happened to be a Friday night. So after we left Sunset Cliffs, guess where we went?
No.
Yeah, we went to Firework Friday on the bay.
Firework Friday.
Dave did some fishing. We had another fire. This is our last Friday night in San Diego. And it's our last night watching the fireworks. Aren't we? Depending on where you're from, things might scare you like tornadoes and hurricanes and fires and earthquakes. And so one of the things about California that made me a little nervous, especially Southern California, was the earthquakes. A couple days into our trip, I was again the only one awake. Everyone was sleeping. And all of a sudden I felt this like tremor. And I thought for a minute, like I'm having a stroke or something. And I almost woke Dave up. But it was so light and so faint. So a day or two later, I did a quick search online and come to find out there was a small earthquake that night before in San Diego. So I told Dave about this and he didn't really believe me. And then one night, Dave, myself, and Easton are all sitting in the living room. I think we were playing a game or something. And all of a sudden, like, the whole camper and everything in it started shaking.
So much so that I thought immediately, someone's messing with our trailer. I ran outside. Well, so did 400 other people because they thought the exact same thing. Turns out we had like a 4.1 on the Richter scale. We had no idea. They happen very frequently here. We're lucky enough to be from Cincinnati, Ohio, one of the best zoos in the country.
Where are we going today? The zoo! The
San Diego Zoo is massive. So we found parking about 1.5 miles away.
And we did a lot of walking.
Parked and did some walking. It's so cool that the trees are here. We're up above them.
Wow. You know what would be super cool right now? If an airplane flew by. Yeah.
the Easter weekend by going back to Seaport Village, which is a place that we really liked, that was really nice, so that Easton could meet the Easter Bunny. And he did a fantastic job. This was the first year for us.
No crying.
that he either didn't cry or I didn't have to be in a picture with him.
All right, we're just going to set him up on the arm of the chair for me.
Good job, baby.
Scoot him all the way back for me. Scoot him back a little bit for me, Dad.
Hi there.
There we go. Okay, we're going to do our picture, and then you can tell the Easter Bunny what you want, baby. Okay? We woke up in the morning, and Easton had all of his surprises from the Easter Bunny. Come on. Sorry.
What the? What is the Easter Bunny up here?
What is this?
Dad can open this egg.
Kids love you.
Mom, chocolate bunny. Mom, cheese Easter basket.
Wow.
Mom, what's this? What's this mean? Is this bubble? What's in that? What's inside? Mom, there's a web. What's?
Let me
What
see.
is it?
It's a flashlight in your
Look,
room.
this is what Addie Elf got me.
Addie the elf got you that too?
Kids love you.
There's a lot of
Whoa. And we spent most of the morning going through all of that before we headed out to a Easter bunny.
We went to an Easter egg hunt.
Egg hunt, yeah.
Welcome to our egg hunt. We're from King's Cross Street of the Soul Dad Club. We're so excited to
I want to go alone. Good job.
After that, from the park we were into, there was an amazing view of San Diego. So we stayed up there for a while and we did some people watching, including some people who were doing some insane yoga.
And then we headed to downtown for some brunch.
And we found a place called Snooze in downtown San Diego. It had really great reviews. The food was awesome. And Easton, with his egg allergy, he can't ever have pancakes or waffles. And he got to have a vegan pancake and he loved it.
How's that pancake, baby? Is it yummy?
One evening, we happened to be talking to the Herrigs in Ohio, and I mentioned to my father that the back wheel seemed to be leaking some fluid from it, and what I had read was it could be transmission fluid, and so I wanted to get his opinion, and he recommended that we get it in the shop immediately.
All right, remember good, bad, and ugly, okay? So Easton and I left Dave while he was fishing, and we drove just like 2 miles down the street to see the airplanes really close. We're at this 4-way intersection when I go to make a turn and the truck stops me. The wheels have stopped working. That back one that we've been having problems with stopped us in the middle of this huge busy road at a stoplight, and we are waiting for AAA. So luckily we have AAA. So I call AAA and they're like, well, is your husband there? And I'm like, he's 2 miles down the road. And they're like, well, he has to be present in order for us to tow the truck. And then the AAA guy got there.
The AAA guy got there. We got the truck towed to, we had just gotten tires done at Big O Tires. And so I said, let's drop it off there and I'll call him in the morning and we'll get it. So we had him tow it there, drop it. And turns out our rear axle was broken.
About 10 years ago. Really, like probably 10 years on the dot.
On the dot.
Dave and I took our first, well, we didn't, it wasn't our first trip. We did Nashville. But we took a trip to Gatlinburg. It was our first trip to Gatlinburg together. And on our way home, we blew
on Easter Sunday
a couple tires, I think. A lot of people did. Something fell off a truck and it caused a bunch of vehicles to, and this was Easter Sunday, the same thing. And so we ended up towing our car back and riding with the tow truck driver. And that was how we spent our Easter. We think, gosh, our day can't get any worse.
I took a shower, so did our underneath of our trailer.
Yeah, I heard something and it sounded like water. So Dave went outside and of course we're in this parking lot with all these campers really close to each other. And there's just water pouring out of the bottom of our rig. And if you know anything about RV life, water in your rig is the scariest thing that you can run into because it can ruin an RV like that. So Dave did some work. He tried to find where it was. It was really Dave's first time underneath the rig, and so trying to figure out where to pull the stuff down without messing something up. We just weren't sure and we weren't willing to risk it. We were also leaving or needing to leave like the next day to head to LA or Acton, just north of LA.
So we had a really nice mobile tech come out. Within a couple of 20 minutes, he had the panel off underneath the stove. The pipe fitting to the shower had basically not been tightened at all. And so we had just gotten lucky up until that point.
Yeah, our rig was brand new. So hearing that something wasn't put on right meant that the manufacturer or whoever was putting it together did not put it on right.
We had just gotten lucky at that point up until then that it hadn't happened before.
Yeah.
And so we caught it right away. He fixed it really easily. He said we did everything right. I didn't know how to get to the leak area.
The good news for us was that we have that underbelly, so all the water was there. It wasn't into our floor or anything like that, so we didn't have to worry about mold or mildew or any kind of like long-term damage, electrical problems, anything like that. Thankfully, it was all right underneath that belly, and so when Dave took all those pieces out and just pulled them down. So shout out to Abel's Mobile Service in San Diego. If you ever need help with your RV while you're in San Diego, please don't hesitate to reach out to him. He is an awesome guy. We got the good news that our truck was fixed, and so the next day we were able to go pick up the truck. We were able to set up the camper, get it all packed in. So overall, San Diego is definitely one of our favorite places that we have ever been to. And we are super excited to go back again. What was your favorite part of San Diego?
It's LAX.
LAX?
Yes.
You like the airplanes?
Yes, I
Well-
like UPS because it's the big one we saw.
Okay. What about in San Diego? What was your favorite? Was it the San Diego Zoo?
Yes.
Yeah, because there were so many animals.
Yes, that's my favorite part.
And what was your favorite animal?
The rhino.
The rhinos.
Because it's really big.
Daddy, what was your favorite part of San Diego?
But Sunset Cliffs is something I'll never, ever, ever, ever forget.
3 places that you should go in San Diego. We're going to tell you what those 3 are. La Jolla with the seals, Sunset Cliffs with the sunset, the ocean, and the views, and the San Diego Zoo, which is one of the best zoos in the country. So if you go to San Diego, those are the 3 places you should go.
We don't do this enough, and we really, really, really would appreciate if you could like and give us a thumbs up. Trying out a new tagline for the Herrigs. We came.
We saw.
We have this.
Emptied out my soul. You've heard it all before. Honest, but I know. Left these years ago. I was young and almost still could fill the void. We don't need the past in our lives for tomorrow. Never see the end of the night filled with sorrow. What do we do to love? What do we do to love? What do we do to love? When everything's said and done. What do we do to love? What do we do to love? What do we do to love? When everything's said and done. What do we do to love?